I really feel bad for Clint.
Why?
What is it? I really understand his his struggle with Josh. Do you not feel he did an all right job? I know he's kind of had to desert him, but he is a 30-year-old man.
Josh's relationship with his dad is very complicated, and I can't fucking imagine. I'm not even gonna guess how hard it is, but you need to think about this. Like, Clint didn't know Josh had autism until Josh was 14 years old. Okay, so for that entire part of his life, I think he said before, like Clint got beat by his, like not like beaten up, but like smacked by his
Hmm.
parents. So he kind of that came down with Josh, and then his dad had a divorce with his crazy woman, and then that must have had an effect on Josh. And he'll say like, "Oh fuck my my biological mother Laura," but not having your mum around and having this, he's got a stepmom who's been around since he was like 2, but you must think like, for a long time you must have been like, "Who is this stranger?"
Hmm.
And then I can see it from her point of view, being like, "Well, that's not my like, he's not my son. It's your fucking kid with another woman." Like, she needed to be nice, but was like, "No, I don't want this fucking thing."
Well, maybe I'm perceiving it wrong, but they did. Well, eventually, obviously, it's years if he was around 2 when she came in, but they
Yeah.
he at least cared about her because there was
Oh yeah, he
the
does.
shooting
Yeah, he
video.
he loves her, but he still, I don't know. You can just kind of feel it, growing up. Maybe he kind of took it out on both of his parents when maybe Clint punished him. But so on top of probably not been, Clint probably didn't treat him amazingly, in the sense that Josh, he's a fucking, you know what he's like,
Hmm.
obsessing about things, and like an autistic kid. And you didn't imagine like not knowing your son was autistic, and then you're like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, just, like, come on, be normal, for fuck's sake. Like, look at my mate's kid. My mate's kids are fine, but my fucking kid sucks. There must have been some of that.
You're
It
making
must
it
be
sound
really
like it's just a
frustrated. Like,
car.
yeah, my fucking kid's broken, and look at their kids. And obviously fucking Clint loves Josh, come on. But yeah, but him as a teenager must have been fucking horrible for
Hmm.
Clint.
I
And
I do,
then
I do
what did
think Clint's flawed. I'm not doubting that. I maybe not the best. I think in a hard situation, what else could Clint have really done without the benefit of hindsight?
yeah, sadly for Clint, Josh growing older kind of fucked him, because all these years of punishing him when he did something bad, like, you're gonna have to cut your hair, or I'm taking away your girl, your Britney Spears posters in your bedroom. I'm gonna make you cut your hair. I'm gonna take away your goth stuff. And that, like, fuck, for Josh, that, him being autistic as well, must have been like, my dad hates me and I fucking hate my dad, and fuck him. I hope he dies. And fucking, that must have been going through his head. And then he finally reaches the age of 18, and now he's like, you can see it, can't you? Him being like, the second he turns 18, he just turns to
Mm.
his dad and just pulls out a cigarette and just starts smoking it in front of him, and is like, "Hey, what are you gonna do now, bitch? All these years of fucking telling me to stop smoking and catching me and punishing me, I can do it now. Fuck you."
I'm adding a
And then the
poll. I don't
day
know if I've worded it well.
Yeah, and then the day he turned 21, he was on the booze, so he was probably fucking drinking a beer in front of, like, his dad, like, haha, fuck you. I'm 21 now, I can drink. Fuck you, dad. Like, that's what his mentality is like. Fuck
Yeah, he's
you.
he's a very is antagonistic the right word? Spiteful maybe is a better one.
Just and then to add on, Josh obviously has mental problems to go along with his autism, and that was being treated by, fucking pharmaceutical medicine. That was, I don't know if it was working. I'm not him, but he just said, like, it made me feel. You hear a lot of that. It made me like feel shitty, or it made me feel like uh I didn't have like a lot of energy. So the day he turned 18, the day he became a man, quote unquote, because he's a 13-year-old boy's brain in an 18-year-old man's
Mm.
body. The day he turned 18, the day he stopped taking those medicine. So that must fuck me, man. Like Clint must have been like, fuck, I just don't have anything. I got no control over this like guy now because he's 18. What am I gonna do? What can you do?
Yeah,
So
especially like we don't know that much about autism still, and it's been 20 years since around the time Josh knew, 20ish years, just very vaguely. Um, Clint obviously wouldn't have known that much of what to do
mm,
because, I mean, in the early 2000s, how many times have had you even heard the word autism?
no, never,
I
no,
probably
never
hadn't
heard.
heard the word autism until 2013.
Yeah, I probably didn't hear about autism personally. I didn't fucking know about that in school. Maybe college. Maybe when I was in college when I was fucking 17, 18. Maybe I heard like of it, but never like met anyone with autism before. Yeah, but I think the day things got harder and for their relationship when he turned 18 and he could do whatever he wanted, and then tried to be supportive, but there's probably an inkling of Josh there, like, I love my dad, but fuck him for like doing for taking away my goth stuff when I was 18. Fuck him for um giving me shit when I was saying I had a cult, I was a cobra demon. Like there is shit there that a fucking psychiatrist must speak to him about, but
I
Josh doesn't want to.
I do think maybe his ego makes him perceived as worse because
Yeah. Oh, it's
that
gotten it's
Reddit
gotten a lot
post
worse.
that Reddit post where he just
Clint.
shows off his daughter, Clint.
Yeah, that's the flip side. There is a little bit of so that's just Josh we were talking about then, but now we've got Clint who um by all means fucking where he is now from where he started. He was working in a corner shop for $5 an hour, and he was trying to support a wife and a kid with autism. He was trying to do that, and then kept moving across the US from state to state, Billings to for a custody battle with his fucking ex-wife, and then he um moved to Dakota, he moved to California, he moved back to fucking Dakota, like moving all around America. Yeah. Um and then had another two kids, and then you know they're not as bad. But we say that I'm not sure. I don't want to like actually. I probably shouldn't bring up his Josh's sister because I don't think it's cool to go snooping around Josh's sister's like shit. But
No, and
she's
I think there's
no.
been bad rumors about them too, which are just not true if I
She.
recall right.
I'll put it this way. From the outside, it sounds like that it's like the perfect family, like supportive family. They all do like acting and they're in drama and they're like the pictures of each other. And then his sister just goes and posts, like, oh, it's hard being the only like what's the word? Um, she basically claimed that she was the only stable person in her family.
Hmm.
And I was like, wow, you're just like, you've literally had everything given to you, like a loving family and everything, and you're saying that no one's stable. Like, yeah, okay.
I think it's fair to say that the Saunders lot are an egotistical bunch.
Yeah, guess you could say that.
If you aren't subscribed to the Greasier Wizard, you aren't a real American.